Hello my darlings, and thank you for joining us on today. I know you've been waiting. We're a couple of days late, but we're going to get into our Q&A giveaway on today. Now, keep in mind that after we finish this video and this one gets uploaded, there will be more videos uploaded in the next day or so. We had a little technical difficulty, so there's quite a few videos that are still being prepared to be uploaded. So bear with me, but won't be but a day or two, I promise. Now, so let's jump right in. We did our Q&A giveaway, and I asked you guys to give me some questions about some different things that you wanted to know about cooking, and that I was going to answer them, and then we're going to give something away at the end. And if you had been watching my YouTube channel, we are on YouTube now, but some of them asked some of you guys asked the questions on Facebook. But if you have been watching the one that came up, the update on YouTube, then you would know that instead of us giving away one item, I decided that I want to give away 3 because I'm a giver. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and answer these. Well, I keep saying we because you know, but I'm going to go ahead and answer these questions and get right into it. And here we go. Let's see. So, and there are some questions that I've already responded to in the comments for some of the ones that were asked because they were immediate questions. So I went ahead and answered them because, you know, sometimes you're asking a question about cooking and you can't get, you're trying to get it done. If nobody answers you right away, then, oh my goodness, you know, disaster could ensue. So we're going to go ahead and answer these questions. So, and again, and I know I'm rambling, I'm sorry. Let me slow down. I just wanted to take a moment to tell you guys that I am grateful. And I'm going to try not to get teary-eyed. Anyone that knows anything about me knows that I am a weenie and I cry at the drop of a hat, and I'm very emotional. But I am also one of those type of people that like to tell people thank you. I'm extremely grateful because I decided that I was going to step out on faith and start this journey and just see what happens, because this is something that I've always wanted to do and that I've always had a passion for. In the midst of me starting this journey, I have gained some wonderful, wonderful support from friends and family who I love very, very dearly, who has done anything and everything they could to support me. I'm bouncing ideas off of everybody and they're giving me wonderful feedback, and I love you guys for it. And all of you wonderful subscribers that have started to subscribe, and people that are viewing my videos and liking my page on Facebook and following me on Instagram. I still hadn't figured out Snapchat yet. I'm still working on that. But all of you wonderful, wonderful people, and I call you my family because I feel like you are. I just want to say thank you, because people don't have to be nice to you, and people don't have to give you a chance. And you guys are giving me a chance and helping me to realize a dream that God placed in me, and I'm grateful. So I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you. And some people, I feel like people don't say thank you enough. Life is just too short. And so I want to say thank you. Thank you very, very much. And especially thank you to my wonderful, wonderful husband. I went to him with this crazy idea. And I said, honey, this is what I want to do. And I think I can make it happen. And it's a long game. It's a long end game. And I think if I do it and jump in with both feet and attack it wholeheartedly, that something wonderful can come of it. And he said, woman, you are crazy, but let's do it. And he's been extremely supportive, and you know, even at many points being my cameraman, and you know, and I'm just grateful. And of course to my children, who are always just my biggest cheerleaders, and mom, you should try this, and mom, you should do that. And they're teaching me about social media and hashtags and helping me with, you know, designing logos and all that kind of stuff. And I love you, love you, love you, my wonderful children. And I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you, everyone. Okay, now we got all the mushy stuff out the way. So let's get into these questions. There's not a whole lot of them today. We're going to go ahead and answer the ones that I haven't answered on social media or anything today. And Then the ones that are still coming in, I will do another video to answer those questions by the end of next week, because a lot of the questions came in after the deadline. So we're going to answer the ones that came in before the deadline. So it's not a whole lot of them because I answered a lot on social media, but we're going to go through the ones that I have. Okay, so the first question comes from Cuffy Rondalee. I hope I'm saying that right, because I will butcher her name. And Cuffy actually, Cuffy Rondalee was actually my very first question when I put the video up. Thank you, ma'am. And her question was, with the holidays quickly approaching, just how do you roast a turkey to that wonderful brown color and make it juicy at the same time? Well, ma'am, this is how you do that. And I will do a video of that in November. So keep watching. But this is how you do it. When you're making your turkey, first of all, what I do is I take, my onions and, my herbs whole, stick them inside of the turkey, tie the legs together. You roast the turkey half the time upside down. And when I say upside down, I mean breast side down in the pan. Okay? That's if you're just using a regular roaster. You roast it upside down in the pan, and it keeps its juices and it makes it all nice and moist. Halfway through, because you cook a turkey about 4 or 5 hours, depending on what the size is, you flip it over, take the top off, brush it. You can brush it with olive oil. Some people brush it with butter. I prefer olive oil because it's better for you. When you brush it with the olive oil, you put it back in the oven, and then it will roast to that beautiful golden brown. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is roasting it in a turkey bag. Around Thanksgiving, all of the grocery stores, on the aisle where you find foil paper and things like that, they have oven bags, turkey-sized oven bags. You put your turkey after you season it and put your everything in it that you're going to put inside. I never put my stuffing inside the turkey. Most people do, but I don't. I always cook my stuffing or dressing outside of the turkey in a separate pan, and then when the turkey's almost done, I put it in the pan together and let it all nice and roast together. But put your turkey inside of a turkey bag, and when you put it inside of that turkey bag, close that bag up, stick it in the oven, keeps the moisture, roast to a beautiful golden brown. Didn't have to do any extra work, didn't have to flip it over halfway through. Turkey bag is about $3 at Kroger's, and depending on what city you're in, Kroger's, Walmart, Target, Fry's, Fry's grocery store, any of them, you can find a turkey bag or a roasting bag or oven bag, whichever one they call it. Cook it in the oven. In that bag, I promise you, you're not going to regret it. You put it in the bag, put it in the oven, and go on about your business and finish the rest of your dinner, the rest of your meal. Also, excuse me, I guess I need to breathe in between talking. Also, another way to make sure that you get it nice and roasted nicely and beautifully is to buy, there's nothing wrong with buying the turkey that has the timer already in it. And that's those ones that has the little red buttons or whatever that pop up. Because if you buy it with that thing already in it, you buy it with that thing in it, you put it in the bag, put it in the oven, then when that thing pops up, you know your turkey is done. And then if it's still not brown enough for you or golden enough for you, then that's when you take your olive oil and brush the outside. Or some butter and brush the outside, put it back in and let it, get golden for you. And that's the best way to do it. Okay, so next question. Excuse me while I take a sip. The next question is from Mrs. Williams Lurie. She's somebody special, y'all, to me. Mrs. William Lurie says, what is a great way to make bland veggies flavorful? And what are the best methods for fruit and vegetables preservation without freezing them? That is a wonderful question. Now, a good way to make bland veggies flavorful is when you prepare them in something like chicken stock, especially if they're fresh. Okay, if they're fresh, like you get your fresh green beans and you snap them and you get ready to put them in the pot to boil them, don't use just plain water. Use chicken stock to boil them. Or you can use vegetable stock to boil them because it already has the flavor in it. When you if you decide that you don't want to use either one of those, take 1 or 2 whole cloves of garlic, stick that in the pot with the water, and a half of onion. You don't have to like cut it all the way up unless you want to. Put that in the water, and that gives it really good flavor along with your normal seasonings. Now, I make a lot of my seasonings myself. However, Mrs. Dash is wonderful if you're looking for a no salt way. Mrs. Dash is wonderful using, you know, your Italian seasonings, your oregano. Garlic powder you have to be a little careful with, because even though it's the powder and not the salt, it's still a little high in sodium. So if you're trying to watch your salt intake, use a little bit of garlic powder, not a whole lot. Onion powder is really good. You can always give it a little, you know, pop with smoked paprika. Don't be afraid, you guys, to experiment with herbs and spices. I have an herb in my cabinet called garam masala. I had never heard of that before a year ago. Excellent flavor. Fennel seeds are absolutely excellent, especially if you're trying to give it kind of a sausagey type of taste without actually having sausage. You don't always have to put like bacon and fats and stuff into your veggies to give them that pop or give them a good flavor. You can do a lot of that with your herbs and your spices and with your stock. And see, a lot of times if you use vegetable stock or chicken stock instead of just plain water, it gives it that flavor that you're looking for without you having to use a lot of salt. I try not to use a lot of salt. So don't be afraid to experiment with herbs and spices. Just find some different herbs, maybe a couple of things you never heard of. I always, before I put it in the food, I take a smell. Oh, it smells nice. Dash, you know. You know, oh, no, I don't like the way that smells. No, that's not gonna go well. You know, that's just kind of how I do. And that's for pretty much any vegetable. Another way to give your vegetables, bland vegetables, a good flavor is experimenting with just a little bit of different types of oil. Like avocado oil. Has a nice little flavor. It's a little heavy, but you only need a little bit. So like if you're making your veggies, take maybe a tablespoon, not a tablespoon, I'm sorry, a teaspoon avocado oil, dump it in, you know, stuff like that. Little oils that have different flavor. Walnut oil is good. Walnut oil is better for making dressings, but I found out by accident that it works really good like in a pot full of broccoli. I just put a couple of teaspoons in it and it was heavenly, and the oil's not bad for you. And I found it out by accident because I'm a little silly sometimes. I was thinking I was putting something else in, and then I realized I had walnut oil in my hand and not the other little bottle of something I was trying. I can't even remember what it was I was reaching for. So, you know, those kind of things. Also, you can try things like using ranch seasoning. You know, the little ranch packets that you find in the store that you use to like make your own dressing and dips and stuff. Just use half the packet in a big pot of vegetables. Gives it a lovely flavor. So just don't be afraid to experiment with your herbs and spices and try some new stuff, you know. That's the best, you know, best way to do it. So. And you can actually do it without just using your plain old salt and pepper, you know. So just try new things. Now the second half of her question is the best methods for fruit and vegetable preservation without freezing. Well, there's a couple of things you have to remember for when you're buying fresh fruit and fresh veggies. First of all, you want to make sure that you're just buying for about a week or so, because if you're like us, even though I eat mostly vegetarian food, you don't get through them fast enough if you get a whole lot of them, because it's just me and my husband. So, and the dog, he likes carrots and apples. But if you don't get through them fast enough, they'll go bad, and then you're mad because they went bad. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, don't wash your produce until you get ready to use it. If it has a little dirt on it, that's a good thing. That means it's fresher, and the dirt actually kind of keeps it a little bit. I know it sounds weird, but the dirt keeps your produce a little bit. So you don't want to wash it until you actually getting ready to use it. Like for instance, when I'm using greens or lettuce or something and I'm cutting it, I wash my lettuce right before I get ready to use it. Or even like mushrooms, everybody says don't wash mushrooms, just use a paper towel. No, mushrooms have dirt on them and I don't want dirt in my food. So what I do is right when I'm getting ready to use my mushrooms, I run them under that water and wash them off. Now there are certain ways that you can do to kind of make your stuff last a little bit longer. Like for instance, strawberries. Leave them dirty, don't wash them, take them out of that little container, put them in a Ziploc bag and put a paper towel in that bag with it. That works for strawberries. That also works for anything green and leafy like lettuce and greens and things like that. Just put a paper towel in the Ziploc bag and it keeps it a little bit longer. Also, Rubbermaid has these wonderful, I don't know if you saw my Kitchen Essentials video that had some things about Tupperware. Rubbermaid has these Tupperware that have little green filter plates in the bottom of them. You can put things in those kind of Tupperware and it keeps really, really well. I swear, I promise you. I had blueberries in that thing almost 3 weeks and they never went bad. Also, things like bananas. If you buy bananas and you put a piece of foil paper just on the end of the banana, you know where you rip them apart at, and then sit them on the counter, they keep a little longer. I don't know why. It's really weird. Mushrooms, if you put them in a paper sack, let me show you what I'm talking about. Hold just one second. Sorry about that. When you buy fresh mushrooms, if you put them in a paper sack, like the old school lunch bag paper sacks like this, and put them in the refrigerator, they keep a little longer. Also, avocados, I keep mine in the crisper in the drawer. They always keep longer in that crisper in the drawer for some reason. Tomatoes, don't put them in the refrigerator until after a couple of days, because when you put them in the refrigerator, they ripen faster. So it's just little things like that you can do to try to keep it. And of course, freezing them keeps them, but who wants to freeze every doggone thing? Also, like with sometimes what I do when I'm prepping for a meal for later on, I'll go ahead and like cut up my onions and bell peppers and stuff, put them in a great big Tupperware together, onions, bell pepper, but I don't wash them until I get ready to use them. My carrots, all of that. So those are some ways that you can preserve your produce without freezing them. And you know, freezing them, of course, you can do that. But if you're trying to just make them last a little bit longer. And I had to learn the hard way to only buy for like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, because I was buying up all kind of stuff and it was going bad. So those are the ways that you can do that. Now, the next question is from Miss Bernadette Williams. It says, how do you make caramel icing? And she says, I messed it up bad. Well, Miss Bernadette, I'm gonna have to do a video, which I'll try to do this week, on caramelizing. And a lot of times with caramelizing, the best the way that you can, I'm sorry, I got tickled by her saying I messed it up bad. The way that you can keep it from getting messed up is all in the stir. Like, you use a whisk when you're making it in the, you know, in your pot or even in your bowl. You use a whisk and you just continually stir. It gets annoying, but you continually stir. I usually, when I'm making any kind of icing, I use my stand-up mixer because I don't want to just be sitting there stirring forever. But I promise you, Miss Bernadette, I will put a video up on how to make caramel icing. I promise. And it'll be sometime in the next week or so. Okay? Now, the next question I was really excited about is from Mr. Scott Hankins. He said, I have a question. I have trouble poaching eggs. I use one of those poachers that have the trays that fit over the pan of water. I can never get them perfect. They're either runny whites or hard yolks. Any suggestions? Cooking time is usually around 5 minutes. Okay, Mr. Hankins. I'm going to also do a video on poaching eggs and basting eggs, and you'll see the difference. let me explain why you're struggling with your poached eggs. First of all, when you're poaching eggs and you got to put a pot of water on. Now this is for when you're not using the poaching trays that you put on top of the water. Okay, now you put a pot on with water in it, right? The water's boiling. You pour vinegar, a little vinegar, into the water. That keeps the egg from breaking up and not cooking fast enough, or let me rephrase. That keeps the egg from not being too runny, not being too hard. So you put a little vinegar in the water. And poaching eggs is also another thing that's about the swirl. Slowly stirring. You kind of want to, like, before you put your egg in the pot, you want to stir the water and create a small little tornado. And then slowly drop the egg in. And then take your big slotted spoon and scoop it out. You know, you slowly drop your egg in, and then you slowly swirl the water so that the egg can get the yolk around it, and you let it cook a couple minutes, and then you take your slotted spoon and pull it out slowly, because you know poached eggs are delicate. Now here's the other thing. 5 minutes is a little bit too long for a poached egg, because it's more like a boiled egg. So you really want to poach your egg about 3 minutes. Even when you're using the tray, you really kind of want to do about 3.5 minutes. 5 minutes usually gets you that hard yolk, and you don't want that. But if you want to do something different from poaching, because poaching takes a lot of practice. So if you want to do something different from poaching that helps you out, you could do a basted egg. What's a basted egg, Miss Kim? I'm glad you asked. A basted egg is an egg that you put just a little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan. You drop the egg in as though you're going to make it over easy or sunny sides up. You take 1 little tablespoon of water and barely sprinkle it around the egg. You take a top, set it over the egg in the pan. The top has to be smaller than the pan so that it covers the egg completely. And you let it sit there and watch it for a couple minutes. And then that white automatically starts to form over the egg, and then you cook it to your liking. And I will put a video up this week, probably about Wednesday, on poaching versus basting, and you get the same results from either way, but I find basting eggs a little easier than poaching. All right, Mr. Hankins, thank you very much for that question, and I'm looking forward to doing that video, by the way. This is another one of my favorites. Miss Melissa asked, can I fry green tomatoes with avocado oil? Yes, Miss Melissa, you can. The trick is not to drown it in oil, because avocado oil is heavy, a little bit heavy. It's not quite as heavy as olive oil, but it is a little bit heavy, and this flavor can be a little bit overpowering. It's a good oil, but you still don't want to use too much of it. You can fry green tomatoes in avocado oil. Let's talk about oil for a hot second. What are good oils to use? Grapeseed oil. This is one that I really, really like. I'm not sure if you guys can see. Let me get it in front of the camera. I'm not sure if you can see that. Grapeseed oil. And I also keep avocado oil in the house. Avocado oil is a little expensive, but it's a really good oil to have. And this one has a heat capability of 500 degrees. Grapeseed oil has a heat capability of about 400 degrees. And then I have, of course, my trusty olive oil that I keep, extra virgin. I like the light one because I don't like it too heavy. And I also keep vegetable oil in the house as well. It's okay to use oil. You just have to use it sparingly. And if you're going to fry something, which we try not to fry things too much, if you're going to fry something, use something with a high heat capability. Use something that you don't have to like put a whole big huge pan and deep fry it. And if you're going to make salad dressings, the best oils for salad dressings, I know everybody, oh, I'm sorry, and I forgot about my coconut oil. I love my coconut oil too. Also high heat capability, but very good for you. But again, I go to Trader Joe's when I get a chance. I buy it in a jar, but most of the time I'm buying it in this little box here, and it comes individuals, and each little individual packet is about a tablespoon. Okay, this gives me perfect portion. I love it. Trader Joe's is my best friend. So now, if you're going to use oil to make your own salad dressing, olive oil is a good oil to use, but I find it a little heavy, and sometimes I like my dressings to be a lot lighter. Try walnut oil. Absolutely wonderful. Light, not a heavy oily taste. Not a lot of oil taste when you put it on your lettuce and stuff. Gives your dressings a perfect flavor. Give it a try. I don't have any with me today because I used the last of it to make some vinaigrette a few days ago. But, you know, we'll talk about that later. Because I am going to do a video here this week that you're going to see that I'm really proud of. It's on making your own condiments. I'm so excited about that video. But we'll talk about that later. I digress. Okay. My next question is from Patrick McCullough. And you're going to understand something once I read this question. That this person is actually someone that I used to work with. So a couple of years ago. He's a good friend of mine, but you know, he's a sweetheart. Haven't seen each other in forever, but when I saw his name come across, I got a little tickled, and I was gonna disqualify you, Mr. Patrick, but that would not be fair. So Patrick put in the question, can I please see a video on the law firm Greens? Hey God. Hey God. I used to work at a law firm, and he worked at the law firm with me, and I made these greens and brought them to work for lunch, and yeah, he shouted in the corner. Yes, Mr. Patrick, I will do a video on those greens and show you how to make them. So I answered the question. Can't say I wasn't fair, right? Next, we have two more questions. Next question is from Miss Lydia Robertson. She asks, how do you make homemade lasagna? And also, what pasta sauce is best to use for spaghetti sauce? What pasta sauce is best to use, spaghetti sauce or 4 cheese? Well, Miss Lydia, just for you, I will do a video on making homemade lasagna, and that'll be up in about a week and a half. Because I have so many other videos that are coming out this week. So I'm going to give myself a week to do that one, but I will do that one for you so that you can see how to make one from scratch, because that takes a little more time than me just telling you, but I will do that for you. And what is the best pasta sauce to use for spaghetti? For pasta, I'm sorry. Spaghetti sauce or 4 cheese? Well, that comes down to what's your preference. Of course, if you use regular spaghetti sauce, now, if you use regular spaghetti sauce, that's going to be better for you than the 4 cheese. Everyone knows, yes, I am addicted to cheese. Yeah, somebody find me a hotline for cheese addictions. But the 4 cheese is not as good for you as regular spaghetti sauce, because the 4 cheese has all that cheese and you get high in calories and carbs. Yeah, we're not going to talk about it, but it's so good. I know I'm struggling with that one, letting that go. But we're going to work on it. We here together. Okay, but, and so red pasta sauce is always going to be a little bit better. You can use your white sauces, which don't have depending on which one it is, you can have less cheese. Now, it comes down to a preference. What do you prefer? Now, what's always going to be better is if you make your own sauce instead of buying the one in the jar. Because the one in the jar has preservatives, and it's going to have some ingredients on the back that you can't pronounce. I'm a big fan of making everything yourself if you can. No, let me not say everything. Making most things yourself, because if you make them yourself, you know what's in it. So I will also do a video, when I do the lasagna video, I will do a video on homemade spaghetti sauce. And I will also do a video, I think I did a video on homemade marinara, I don't know. But I will do a video on homemade spaghetti sauce. and also a video on lasagna for you. And I will teach you how to make a 4 cheese sauce that's half the calories and half the fat. Okay? Agreed? Gotcha, baby. Now, last question. My phone was buzzing. I'm sorry, y'all. Melissa Flowers says, how do I create a full course meatless meal? Well, Miss Flowers, that isn't an easy question for me because I do it all the time. First thing you have to do is realize what you, or just be honest with yourself about what kind of veggies and things you like. You also have to, if you have never done a full course vegetarian meal, you have to try to figure some way to substitute the meat that's still hearty, because you don't want to set yourself up for failure. So eggplant is a wonderful substitution for meat. I'm actually going to do a sub sandwich made with eggplant only, meatless, this week. Also, mushrooms are a wonderful substitute for meat, especially oyster mushrooms, because they are very meaty. I'm gonna actually do a whole week of vegetarian and vegan meals so that you can see how you can do that. Also, you can make vegetarian tacos. I use lentil beans. You make them and then you can put them in a pan and put some taco seasoning in it, and it tastes just like it, and it's heavenly. Making vegetarian burgers, you can actually make veggie burgers yourself. You don't have to go out and buy the patties that they sell in the store. You can take a few things out of your refrigerator and make a veggie burger. So it's not hard to make a full course vegetarian meal. It's about making sure that you have your protein, making sure you have your vegetable, you know, making sure maybe you have some salad with it, mashed potatoes, green beans, but you got to have something that substitutes for that meat. Because if you're a meat eater, you've been a meat eater your whole life, you're conditioned to have that meat, potato, veggie, bread. So you have to recondition your mind and say, we're going to do some sliced eggplant, roasted eggplant, and green beans, and a nice salad. And instead of mashed potatoes, we're going to have mock mashed potatoes, which is made from cauliflower. And instead of just a regular roll, we'll have a wheat roll or a multigrain piece of bread, or we'll make some croutons on our own to go in our salad. It's all easy to do. Start doing things like picking up vegetarian magazines. Every time I go to the store, just about, if I see a new veggie magazine, I pick it up, because vegetarian magazines have wonderful, wonderful ideas for vegetarian meals and vegetarian one-pot things. And you can even do pasta with no meat in it, and you won't miss it if you're diligent about it. Now, what I'm going to do just for you, Miss Flowers, is, because of your question, I'm not only doing that week long of vegetarian and vegan meals only, but I'm also going to do, just for you, a segment on planning out a vegetarian meal and how to transition from being a meat eater to a vegetarian, or a meat eater to a vegan. I'm going to talk about that because I did it. I just recently started incorporating fish back into my diet, so I guess you would technically call me a pescatarian, even though I only eat fish maybe once every couple of weeks. But it's not an easy transition at first, but it can be done. So you have to transition yourself, because again, you don't want to set yourself up for failure when you're making that change in your life. So my husband had the suggestion when he saw your question that, why don't you teach people how to show people how you can transition? And I'm going to do that by way of cooking, because that's what I do. So that was our last question for this Q&A giveaway. So now let's get down to what you guys have been waiting for. You're just waiting for me to get to the end because you just want some prizes. That's all that is, but that's okay. So in this bowl, I have everybody's name for the questions that have been asked, along with the questions that was answered on social media. So we're going to pick 3. The first name that I am pulling is Mrs. Williams Lurie. Oh my God. Yes, I pulled her name first. So Mrs. Williams Lurie, you contact me through Love Mom 2930, we got something special for you. The second name that we're doing, and once you guys get your gifts in the mail, please post a picture of you with your gift so I can put it on my social media and show everybody the wonderful gift that we send, and let me know how you use it. Okay. The next one, Mr. Scott Hankins, our poached egg man. So Mr. Hankins, please contact me at lovemom2930@gmail.com with your information. We're going to send you something special. Thank you so much. And our last one, let's see, dig around in this bowl real deep. Let's see who we got. Our last winner is Miss Lydia Robinson. So Miss Lydia Robinson, please contact us at lovemom2930@gmail.com with your information, and we are going to send you something special. Now for our winners, I'm going to announce the winners on Facebook this evening along with this doggone video. And I'm going to announce the winners on Instagram and on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for participating in this. I love you. Again, I just appreciate you all for being so supportive and for just giving me a chance, liking and subscribing to my channel. Love you so very much. Now, we're going to do a giveaway until February, at least once a month. I think until February. Did we say February? No, we said March. So up until March, we're going to do a giveaway once a month. So make sure you're telling your friends about our question and answer giveaway, our Q&A giveaway. We're doing it once a month all the way up till March. Every month the questions are due by the 12th and the video will come out on the 15th. Every month questions are due by the 12th, video come out on the 15th. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. You know, one side, the other. Like, subscribe. Whichever one. Hit the notification bell down here. Hit the bell so that you can get notified every time we upload a video. Thank you so much. I love you all. Remember, Mama's always got your back. Mama Kim always got your back with this food. And have a wonderful evening. Thanks for watching. Happy cooking.